What's going on, guys? Jake Gottesman here, Director of Nutrition for Overtime Athletes. Today I want to talk to you about supplements. I have 3 supplements laid out. I got protein, creatine, and caffeine. In my book, Performance Nutrition, I rank different supplements all the way from platinum category, which is my top supplements that every athlete should have, all the way down to bronze. These bronze supplements are the ones that you sometimes could have, but what I'm going to talk about is protein, creatine, which are in my platinum, and caffeine, which are my gold. I'll tell you why that one's not in the top ranking soon. So first one I want to talk about, guys, is protein. Now, one of the reasons I love protein is because of macro efficiency. Now, as you guys have seen in my previous videos, you know that I like to have a high recommendation of protein, whether it's in body recomposition or cutting or even sometimes bulking. Now, what this does is it allows you to hit your protein macronutrients fairly easily. So 1 scoop of protein on average will have around 25 grams of protein. You might have 1 gram of fat, maybe 1 gram or 2 of carbs. Now, having 1 to 2 scoops a day is really going to allow you to hit your protein ratio very, very easily. Next thing I want to talk about is the anabolic window. So now a lot of you guys have probably seen or heard of the anabolic window before, where you go to the gym and you have to have your protein right away, right after your workout. Is this true? Is this not true? The answer is yes and no. What I mean by that is if you're fasted in the morning, you just hit a crazy leg session, I would probably get protein as soon as possible after your workout. Now, if you just had a protein-rich meal at 12 o'clock, you worked out at 1 o'clock, you're done at 2, do you need to have protein right after? I would say no. My recommendations are to at least have protein within 4 hours of each other. So if you work out at 12 o'clock, if you have protein at 12 o'clock, and you work out, I would get that protein in by 4 o'clock. So make sure just to get protein after your workout, just to make it easy on you guys. Have a scoop after. It's going to allow you to hit your macro efficiency very well, get that protein up. Next thing, guys, creatine, again in my platinum category of supplements. Why? One is the performance benefits. It's going to increase your strength. It's going to increase your power, and there's also been some research to suggest that it's great at increasing mental function, and it has a lot of cognitive benefits. So if it's going to increase your strength, it's going to increase your power, and there's virtually no real risks to it, then go ahead and load up on it. Take your creatine. I always tell most of my athletes to take creatine. I don't think I've ever had one athlete I've told not to take creatine. The only risk I would say is that what creatine does is it pulls water into the muscle, not into the fat, so you don't have to worry about getting bloated. It's going to pull water into the muscle. It's going to give it a fuller look. It's going to help with ATP production. This is why it's going to help with strength and power. But the one risk I would say is if you're a weight class athlete, it could cause a minor weight gain. So that's just something to be careful of. Protocol for creatine, guys, I just like to have a standard creatine monohydrate. A lot of the other types of creatine can be a little bit too fancy, not as much researched, but creatine monohydrate is the #1 most researched type of creatine. And also I would suggest 5 grams a day. If you want to load on it, be my guest. I don't have a preference one way or another. Think about it like a tank of gas, right? You have creatine stores in the muscle. On a normal day, they're not full, but if you take creatine, they're going to start to fill up, and the more you take it, the more they're going to get full. After that, there's no real benefits to taking too much, so you just want to make sure you're taking at least a scoop a day, about 5 grams per day. And I talked about the risks before, guys. Remember, if you're a weight class athlete, just be careful about that. Last thing I want to talk about is caffeine, which I put in my gold. So not as necessary as protein or creatine, but I think caffeine has the same benefits as the other 2. They just have a little bit more risks. So first thing, the performance benefits. It's going to increase your strength and power. That's the first thing. You take caffeine before a workout, it's going to increase your power during that workout. Also, it's going to decrease fatigue. So if you happen to not sleep that night, maybe you only slept 4 hours, and now you take a pre-workout supplement or you have some caffeine, what that's going to do is reduce that fatigue and almost make it seem like you slept a full 8 or 9 hours that night. So it's very, very beneficial, and it can help you out a lot. Now again, timing is important. Let's say you're an athlete. If you're going to time your pre-workout to take it before every single workout and then not take it during one of your games, this could be a big issue because you're used to something, you become dependent on it, and now you're not using it for your games and when it matters. Now again, if you use it all the time, now you're going to be dependent on it. As an athlete, you don't want to be dependent on anything besides your own skills. So that's something to worry about for sure. Now, cycling and risks. If you feel like you're taking your caffeine supplement or your pre-workout supplement too much and you want to kind of dial it back to zero, what you want to do is cycle off of it. My suggestion to you, so you don't get these crazy withdrawals, is the first day go about half the normal caffeine that you would take. Then the next 2 days go to about a quarter of the caffeine intake. And then from there, cut it cold turkey for about 1 to 2 weeks. What this is going to allow you to do is not get hit with those withdrawal effects over the first 3 days, and then your tolerance is going to go back to zero. You can start taking it again. But I would make sure, guys, that you're very cerebral about how you take your caffeine. Again, it has the same benefits, a lot of benefits as creatine and protein does in terms of how much it can help you out, but it just has a lot more risks. So make sure when you're using it is appropriate and that you don't overuse it as well, because this can be a big issue, guys. Now remember, I talk about all these supplements and many more in performance nutrition. If you're interested in that, click the link down below. And also, guys, I take personally these 3 supplements I take on a daily basis. I take it from Transparent Labs. Transparent Labs is a company that I trust. They have great quality products, and I suggest that everyone take it. If you're interested in taking the same products that I take, the link will be down below for Transparent Labs. So guys, next time we'll go over a different topic, but I appreciate you guys. See you soon.